Well, as you guys all know, there are a lot of Superman-inspired characters. So much that of course we couldn't fit them all into one list. So now we are back with a part 2. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host Dave Raff, and today we are going to be talking about the top 10 Superman Ripoffs Part 2. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and remember to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd so you never miss one nerdy video. Now, with all that being said, let's dive in. Number 10, Apollo. Apollo, who was originally from the Wildstorm universe, but is now technically part of DC continuity after Flashpoint since he appeared in DC's New 52 run. While Apollo's origin is different than Superman's, his powers are pretty similar. Like Superman, he gets his power from solar energy and has super strength, speed, flight, and vulnerability, and can shoot energy from his eyes. He needs to constantly absorb solar energy in order to maintain his power. So if he ends up exerting himself so much and uses all of it, he will be powerless until he can get his hands on some more. Now that he is in the DC universe, he would be considered to be one of their most powerful heroes. I mean, even giving Superman a run for his money. Number 9, Sun God. Sun God, also known as Zoran, is from Marvel Comics. He was born in another universe. Now, not a ton is known about him, but he is very, very powerful. He has super strength, he can fly, and has vulnerability. His costume is also very similar to Superman, despite being different colors. He's a part of the Great Society, which is very similar to the Justice Society of America. He has even taken on the Hulk in a fight, just showing how strong he is. I mean, he was able to withstand Hulk's punches. Like I said, other than that, there's not a ton of info on him, but the stuff we do know shows you how he is yet another hero that was inspired by the success of the Man of Steel himself. Number 7, Gladiator. Gladiator comes from Marvel Comics, and on the surface you might think, he doesn't really look like Superman, so how is he similar? Well, my friends, let me tell you. For one, his powers are essentially identical. He has super strength, super speed, flight, heat vision, microscopic vision, freeze breath, and invulnerability. Like that's Superman's in a nutshell. His real name, Clark, is also very similar once you realize it's just Kal-El and Clark merged together. Plus, his costume contains the same colors that Superman uses. While his backstory and facial features and all that are very different, Gladiator is clearly inspired by the Man of Steel. The other thing is that he's not really an outright hero, so there's that kind of as well. Number 7, Icon. Icon, also known as Augustus Freeman, was an alien who crash-landed on Earth in 1839. He was raised as a slave during those times, but managed to escape through the Underground Railroad, and eventually became the superhero known as Icon. He even joined the Justice League at one point and has fought Superman on a few different occasions, though he's never been able to beat him. He has super strength, flight, super speed, enhanced senses, self-sustenance, and positron manipulation. His backstory, like I mentioned earlier, is very similar to Superman since he's from another planet and all and crash-landed on Earth and became a superhero and has very similar powers. But even though he has similarities, he has grown to become his very own unique hero. Number 6, Supreme. Created by Rob Liefeld, who is the creator of Deadpool, who of course is famously known as a comedic ripoff of DC's Deathstroke. But the funny thing is, Deadpool actually became so much more popular than Deathstroke. And he has also grown to become his own thing. But Rob decided to try it out with another hero, Supreme. Ethan Crane, also known as the superhero Supreme, got his powers after he came in contact with an element known as Supremium. Now, his powers are virtually identical to Superman's. I mean, he has super strength, super speed, invulnerability, flight, heat vision, freeze breath, expert vision, but he also has something called energy absorption. Now, like some of the other ones on this list, he was created to be similar to Superman, like just exactly how Deadpool was meant to be like Deathstroke in a lot of ways. That was the main point of creating this hero. They didn't just go like, oh, I'm just gonna create this hero and just be like, oh, he's just unique in his own way. No, he was clearly meant to be like Superman. They also ended up introducing their own versions of Supergirl and Krypto in that universe, in the form of his cousin, Suprema, and his dog, Radar. Number 5, Metro Man. Now, Metro Man doesn't come from Marvel or DC, but if he sounds familiar, it's because he is from a hit animated movie, Megamind. Now, Metro Man was made to be the Superman of that universe. I mean, his costume is similar, it has a big M on his chest, and he's an alien from another world who discovers he has powers on Earth and uses them to fight crime. It was very cool to see, and he was even voiced by Brad Pitt. He can fly, he has super strength, super speed, heat vision, x-ray vision, freeze breath, and the list goes on. I mean, he's clearly inspired by the Man of Steel. I mean, he was designed to be a parody of Superman in that way. And it really worked for the movie. Megamind wasn't the most successful film from DreamWorks, but over time has become more and more popular as more people have continued to discover it. And I mean, fans have been wanting them to make a sequel for years, even starting online petitions for them to do it. Number 4, Marvelman. Okay, so Marvelman has a very weird and interesting backstory. You see, he originally was basically Captain Marvel, but after Fawcett Comics and then all the lawsuits from, because of Captain Marvel and being similar to Superman, they just decided to morph him into MARVELMAN. But there were some changes. For example, he looks very, very different. And he was no longer Billy Batson, but was now Mickey Moran, who instead of meeting a wizard, Shazam, meets an astrophysicist who gives him powers related to atomic energy. And instead of saying Shazam, he now says Komoda to transform. So, there are some changes, but him basically being Shazam and Shazam being inspired by Superman makes them all connected in some really weird, strange way. Number 3, Thor. Thor, the god of thunder. While he is not an exact copy of Superman, Marvel did take cues from both the Norse mythology and Superman and mix them together to create one of the best superheroes of all time. In terms of power, he's on the same level as Superman. Depending on the writers, and that goes for both characters. But Thor is Marvel's answer to Superman in a lot of ways. Someone who possesses godlike abilities, in this case Thor is actually a god, but also lives among the human race, and not only protects Earth, but protects multiple planets and realms. Thor has become so incredibly popular thanks to his appearance. Not only just in the comics where he was already popular, but to mainstream audiences because of his portrayal by Chris Hemsworth. Number 2, Captain America. Okay, so while Captain America isn't the same as Superman in the power department, it's more of his personality and values that let you know that he's a bit similar to him. But this is not in a bad way or anything. Not a lot of the characters on this list are, as I said before in my other video, ripoffs aren't meant to be, it's not meant to be a bad term. I think Marvel wanted something similar, but something that could also stand on its own. They both share similar colors and stand for truth and justice. They also both inspire hope and will never give up fighting no matter what. The crazy thing is that it's not new information to know that DC in recent years has struggled with Superman on the big screen. But Marvel has found tremendous success with Captain America. Some people have said that Superman should be more like how Marvel has handled Captain America on the big screen because of how relatable he is. Number 1, Goku. Let me start off by saying one of the main things I remember about my childhood was watching Dragon Ball Z. All my friends watched it, and it was such a big deal for us. Whenever a new episode would come on, we would always be super excited to talk about it the next day in school. But back to my main point, one thing I and a lot of other people noticed was that Goku and Superman were a lot alike. Goku, known on his own planet as Kakarot, was sent to Earth from a planet that got destroyed when he was a baby. Now, his purpose was to destroy Earth, but a head injury made him forget about that. And he went on to become Earth's greatest defender and showed off abilities that no one had really seen before. There are even other similarities, as you can say Vegeta or Raditz are similar to how General Zod came back to Earth and such. But even with those, the whole Dragon Ball franchise has been such a delight to watch over the last few years. Here's hoping one day we will see a really good live action adaptation of it, because we are still waiting. It's there. It has so much potential. All right, there you have it, guys. The top 10 Superman ripoffs part 2. What does your list look like? Let us know down in those comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and remember to subscribe to Top 10 Nerds so you always know whenever we post a new nerdy video just like this one. I'm your host, Raf, and thank you so much for watching.